Good morning, guys. As we all studied in the previous lessons, the condition of inflation, deflation, deficient demand, excess demand, deficient supply, excess supply, and to control these situations, there are certain fiscal measures, and these fiscal measures implemented by government, and to implement these policies or these fiscal measures, the government spend a lot of money, and they are receiving receipts from the people and spending for the people. And this situation or this estimation, we can call it as government budget. To control these situations in the economy like inflation, deflation, government budget play an important role. So today we start to learn about a new topic, that is what is called government budget. We know that in every family there is a budget. There is an estimation of income and expenditure. Likewise, government also, even at different levels, central government or state government or self-government, local self-government, they have their own estimation of receipts and expenditure. That is what is called government budget. So we can see the definition of government budget. What is the definition of government budget? It is an annual financial statement of estimated revenue and estimated expenditure during a fiscal year. That is what is called the government budget. The government create a financial statement, and in one side the income of the government, the other side which is showing the expenditure of government, and it is only for a fiscal year. What do you mean by fiscal year? It is a financial year. Financially, in India, we know that financial year begins from April 1st to March 31st. Financial year of 2020, April 1st, 2020 to March 31st, 2021. So fiscal year is also known as financial year. So when we learn about this definition, we can see various elements of the government budget. What is the first element? From this definition also we can create the elements. First element is statement of estimates of government receipts and expenditure. I told you, I mentioned earlier, receipts, that is the income of the government. Income of government and government expenditure. Estimation of these, we can call it as government budget. So that is the first element, the statement of estimates of government receipts and expenditure. And the second one is budget estimates for a fixed period. It's only for a fiscal year, financial year, April to March. So that is the second. Third element is planned. This planning, this government budget planned according to the objectives of the government. There are certain objectives of the government. Main objectives, we know that everyone knows that, the welfare of the people. The government is working for the welfare of the people. In the best example, the present day we are facing the problem of coronavirus. Who play an important role in that? To tackle this problem, to tackle this situation? Government. We are always in all the newspapers, all the magazines, everywhere we can see that all over the world, the government play an important role at this situation. In our country, India, we are facing this situation, and this is tackled, they try to tackle by the government. So the budget estimates for a fixed period, and it is planned according to the objectives of the government. The main objective, provide welfare to the people. And another one is approved by the parliament before implementation. In every year, in all fiscal year, the last working day of February, Union's finance minister will present the union budget in the parliament. The present union finance minister, you know that, Nirmala Sethuraman. She has presented last working day of the 2020 February, she has presented the annual budget in the parliament. But she can't, or her government could not implement this budget. Why? Because they need, after getting the approval of the parliament, they can implement the budget. So these are the various elements of the budget. So which are the various elements of the budget? Statement of estimates of government receipts and expenditure, Second one, budget estimates for a fixed period, planned according to the objectives of the government. Then this budget approved by the parliament before implementation. Then we can move to the objectives of the government budget. So we discussed what do you mean by government budget? Financial statement, annual financial statement of estimated revenue and estimated expenditure during a fiscal year. What are the major objectives of this financial statement? That is what is called government budget. First one is economic growth. When we think about the economic growth, we know that first and foremost thing, that is increasing public welfare. Public welfare. That is the foremost thing. When we think about the economic growth, means to provide public welfare to the people in the country. And for that, the government will increase the expenditure. They are ready to increase their expenses in the construction of bridge or providing facilities to the people, health facility or transportation facility or communication facility, and for that they are increasing their expenditure. When they increase the expenditure, the real GDP of the economy will increase. Real GDP increase means that increase the GDP means, you know what is GDP? The value of final goods and services produced within the country. It leads to increase the income of the people, per capita income of the people, standard of living of the people, growth of economy. That is the first and foremost thing or objectives of the government budget. And second one is reduction of poverty and unemployment. We know that in the last planning commission, they estimate that and before that you want to understand that, you need to understand that at present there is no 5-year plans in India. In India, it is known as Niti Aayog, and the estimation of Niti Aayog, that is 22.9% of people facing the problem of poverty and unemployment. And the main objective, reduction of poverty and unemployment through increasing the government expenditure. The government can provide employment opportunities like MNREGA. Best example for the employment program, that is MNREGA, 100 days of guaranteed work or unemployed allowances. So, increasing the public expenditure, provide employment opportunities and reduce the poverty. So, that is the second objectives. And when we move to the third objective, reduction of inequalities or redistribution of income. Reduction of inequality. Do you think we can create reduce the inequalities in our country? Yes. And this can be implemented through progressive tax system and progressive tax system and increasing government expenditure. Government expenditure we already discussed in the first two objectives. And progressive, that means the richer section need to pay high tax, high rate of tax from higher income people, and we can reduce the inequalities. Another one is reallocation of resources. How can we reallocate the resources? Best example, that is special economic zones. The government give grants or subsidy those